guys? Stuart Penlow, the most targeted citizen. This is going to be, I think this channel is going to be my news and reviews. The real news here, because I don't have any strikes on this channel. And you know they love silencing me. If you haven't joined yet, if you're on this channel, because I see a lot of people that comment here that don't comment on my main channel, The Most Targeted Citizen, please go to Most Targeted Citizen. You'll find me there. That's my daily craziness, like rebuilding this chicken poop camper. This thing is just unraveled before my very eyes. So I'm either to the point of restoring this, which is more than likely what I'll do, or ripping it out and putting one big window right here on this wall. But let me go into news. I'm not going to pat myself on the back as much as I need to and deserve to. I would have a concussion if I patted myself on the back for what I deserve to say. I told you this Ukraine war, I told you it was a money laundering operation. You forget that under Barack Obama, this is his playbook, and under the Clintons, they'll have a nonprofit agency pop. They'll open one up, and then the government starts diverting money to it. That's how these people. That's how they get rich. They'll open up a nonprofit. Remember, like Acorn and all these other nonprofits, kind of like PBS, really, because PBS is nothing but state-sponsored media. It's propagandist network. So Barack Obama funneled billions of taxpayer dollars to his nonprofits that weren't in any way affiliated with him at all. Okay? So they go in there, worth $500,000, and they come out worth, I think Barack was worth $1 million when he went in as president, and he came out worth $100 million. How do they do that? Well, they use government and they divert funds. They send funds to nonprofits. They divert funds there, and then the funds get right back to, it's just money laundering. So, Ukraine war, have you heard anything this week, guys? I know a lot of people aren't connected with the news, and I'd appreciate it if you stopped watching the news. It's like, I heard a report, people from China who come to America, they ask Americans, says, why do you watch the news? Well, what do you mean? Well, we're from China. We know they're lying to us, so why would we watch it? So, you should know the government's lying to you. Why are you watching it? FTX. Have you heard of FTX? That's the largest loss of wealth in world history. World history? Trading history. Crypto, FTX. So Sam Friedman, the FTX guy, I could look at him and tell you that this man still eats boogers. I can look at him and tell you he still eats boogers. He is the single, next to George Soros, the single largest donor to the Democrat Party. So the money that went to the Ukraine war, it's $70 billion right now that we've given to Ukraine because all the poor Russians are attacking them. $70 billion is getting ready to be $114 billion. So, go back in time. Obama put Zelensky in business. Obama put President Zelensky of Ukraine into office. Why did they pick him? Because he's an actor. Zelensky is he's one of the most famous actors in Ukraine. They put him in the position because he can read a script. That's all he does is read a script. Okay? So Obama puts him in there. When they put him in there, because they had to do that because the investigators, the police of Ukraine, from an actual democratically elected president, the police were investigating Joe Biden's son, Joe Biden, all their criminality. You remember when Joe Biden said that? He said, well, I told him if you wanted $1 billion of U.S. taxpayer dollars to help Ukraine, you'll fire the prosecutor. And then Joe Biden says, well, son of a bitch, he fired the prosecutor. Well, that's exactly what happened. Why? Because we propped up Ukraine. They're another arm of the CIA, Ukrainians. We have chemical weapons manufacturing plants in Ukraine, 12 of them. That's why Russia came in hard and heavy. But it isn't all you think it is. It really isn't Russia and Ukraine. This is a proxy war for the United States. But listen, billions of dollars flowed to Zelensky, and Zelensky's controlling the money as the way that the president and the CIA tells him to. So, when we gave this $70 billion to Ukraine to protect them from the mean old Putin, Putin's in on it too. Now, there's so many moving parts, but let me tell you this. Ukraine goes and takes our tax dollars and puts it into FTX, into crypto. It was a fake crypto company. It had nothing to do with crypto. They laundered money. So they put it in there, and guess what FTX does? They sent it to all. They were the second largest Democrat donor. So he's sending $40 billion to Democrats in the United States Congress and the president. So tax money goes here, goes to help Ukraine, then it goes to FTX, and then it goes back to the freaking Democrats. And nobody's doing anything about it. Nobody. They're all just like, oh my God, look what happened. Well, it's come out now that the douchebag lost $90 billion. Sam Friedman, the one who eats boogers, he just lost $90 billion. Now it's exposed. You know what they're going to do about it? Nothing. The new Congress took over. I'm not going to tell you what happened with this election, but I'm going to tell you the same thing happened last time in the election. The same thing. The same exact thing happens. I'm going to tell you this much. In no other real world country that has legitimate elections are elections 59 or 51-49. It doesn't happen. We are not that split in America. We are not. You ask besides the far, far left idiot liberals, you ask them, do you like high gas prices? Hell no. No one would vote that way. No one. It is not 51-49. But they do that to say, oh, golly gee, look how divided we are. We're so close. It doesn't happen. And it didn't. But I won't go too far in that because, they want any reason to take me down. So now the Republicans took over Congress. And you know what the morons did again? They did what they always do. They put the same Democrat back in power. They put Kevin McCarthy right in there again. Who's Kevin McCarthy? Well, he served under Paul Ryan, who was what? A Democrat operative. Who did Paul Ryan serve under? None other than John Boehner, another rhino Democrat. So here's the Republicans. Look at here what we did. We're going to go in here and start investigating. Oh, Kevin McCarthy, he's still running the show. That means nothing gets done. Kevin McCarthy from California, that should tell you. He gets up there and he talks, oh, he's all big and he's all bad and he's all tough and we're going to do this and I'm going to take down the bad guys. He's the same crap as what we had. You see why I quit? I don't even watch politics like I used to, but I know more than most people out there. For one, God has given me a great sense of intuition. So, the Republicans come up, they had a press conference yesterday, they said, listen here, now we're going to start investigating. Well, listen, if anybody out there in America realizes by now, after the big Ghazi charade where Trey Gowdy got in there and acted like he got all these $1 million sound bites talking to Hillary Clinton, what does it make? What difference does it make? Did you see when our American troops are killed in Benghazi through a gun-running organization where Hillary had our troops murdered because they knew what was going on? And nothing came of that. Absolutely nothing came of that. Remember, they made a movie of it, 13 hours. Nothing came of it. But you know what the problem is this time? We're going to do what? We're going to do more investigate. We're going to do more committees. Into what now? What are they going to go in now? Oh, they're just going to go into Hunter Biden's laptop where they can link it to everything Joe Biden does in policy with China, with Ukraine, with Yemen, with all these corrupt countries. It shows the payouts, and Joe Biden is the big guy, as mentioned in Hunter Biden's laptop. Oh, it gets bigger than that. The federal government and the FBI has been working with Facebook, Google, Twitter, YouTube, working with all of them to silence free speech. Now you know why I'm worried about speaking and getting my channel taken down? Well, there you go. So they're investigating Hunter Biden. You know how big of a waste of money this is going to be? This is going to be a bigger waste of money than what they happened with Donald Trump. Why? Because Joe Biden's going to pardon him. And they said openly, they said, this is not an investigation into Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden is a dopehead. He is useless. He is worthless. But he is the one bringing in the money for the corrupt presidency of Joe Biden. Now, they won't say anything about the election and how it went. I mean, they know it, but it's all part of the show. So now the Republicans are going to stand there and listen. They're going to slow walk this just like they did under Donald Trump. Donald Trump had the House and the Senate for 2 years, and Paul Ryan slow walked everything, and nothing got done. The same thing's going to happen here because they're going to let the investigation go. They love to rub it in. they're going to keep the House for 2 years, and then they're going to give it right back to the Democrats, and they're going to stop everything, and then they're going to start attacking Republicans just like they did this last time. It is so criminally corrupt. It's And remember Trey Gowdy? Oh, he was the White Knight. He's so great. Well, he's got a nice cushy job as a operative for Fox News. Now, oh, what a good job, Trey Gowdy, the bulldog who didn't do anything. He got nothing done. He got nothing done. Well, you remember before McCarthy got it last time around under President Trump, Jim Jordan, everybody loved Jim Jordan, professional wrestler. He beat the undefeated Russian wrestler. He was a tank. Jim Jordan ran for Speaker of the House. You know what they did for him? Then they pulled out that Sandusky because Jim Jordan was a coach at the same university as Jerry Sandusky, who was raping little boys. So what they do to Jim Jordan, he wanted to come out, and they couldn't control him as easily. So what they do, then they opened up all this investigation of him not reporting the sexual improprieties of Jerry Sandusky. So that shut Jim Jordan up, and he ain't ran for it since. So that should tell you that Jim Jordan may be a good man at heart, but all they got to do is blackmail you or scare you with your reputation, and they'll fold in a heartbeat. You see, the thing about people like me, and unfortunately, my pastor, my church, Global Vision Bible Church, and my pastor, Pastor Greg Locke, got taken off YouTube this week. Removed. The thing about people like my pastor and like me is I don't have skeletons in my closet. Do you think law enforcement wouldn't love to kick in my door? You know why they don't? Because the FBI walks right in. And they search everything. They know everything I do. They surveil me all the time. But think about it. When you don't have skeletons in your closet, you're not scared of them. You're not scared. I don't give a crap about this country. And people say, well, you ain't nobody. Why would the government go after you? Because I have a voice. And because I can deduce what they can't. I can see 1,000 steps ahead of every freaking criminal out there in government. I see what they're doing ahead of time. That's why as soon as 9/11 happened, I was one of the first ones to say, nope, airplanes don't crash buildings. No, you're crazy. And then they used what? They used the power of the propaganda to vilify. What do you need, son? Set it up against the front of the trailer, please. They used the power of propaganda to vilify me and put me on this government watch list. So we've got so many scandals going on. And you know how many Democrats in Congress and in Senate that were linked up with FTX? All of them. All of them. Every one of them were linked with FTX. So all these billions of dollars disappeared because now it's defunct. Now they figured out, oh, golly, gee, that's a money laundering operation. Tell me how a crazy hick like me in North Carolina knows more about what's going on in Washington than the guys in Washington. Do they not know, or are they really acting that much? It's all corrupt. I didn't even vote. I'm done voting. It doesn't do anything. If voting mattered, they wouldn't let you do it. What good is a congressional committee? They don't have any power. And guess what else? Mayorkas, the HHS secretary, HHS, yeah, Homeland Security, his office was caught red-handed, emailing, telling social media what to post, what to not post, what to let slide, and who to take down. Caught red-handed, and Mayorkas got in front of Congress and denied it all. Nope, I have no idea what you're talking about. And they've got the receipts. Did they refer him for fraud? Did they refer him for contempt of court for lying to Congress? Nope. Not even a referral. You know who got? Eric Holder under Barack Obama. He lied to Congress about the Fast and Furious where, I don't know, Barack Obama and our FBI and ATF was selling machine guns, was selling weapons to the Mexican cartel. And the Mexican cartel was trading the weapons to Hamas. To Hamas, a terrorist organization in Philistine, was trading weapons to them for opium. And then the Mexican cartel does what? Bring the opium and make it into heroin and bring it to America to kill us all. So Eric Holder lied about it, was found in contempt of Congress, and you know what they did to him? Absolutely nothing. Nothing. But Roger Stone, and listen, Roger Stone's known the swamp, been in the swamp for many, 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 many years. He's repented. Supposedly, he's repented. I mean, he told me he repented and accepted Jesus as Lord and Savior. a lie to Congress must be something that has a profound effect upon the facts. If you say, I said this on Monday and it was raining, and you said that on Monday but it was sunny outside, that's not a fact that they can hold you in contempt for. But that's what they did with Roger Stone. He proved everything he said. He didn't lie in court. He didn't do anything corrupt. But like I told you guys, Millennial Millie came out with a CIA operative who said, listen here, our government has a what? An algorithm that picks the juries that they want to prosecute and convict who they want. So you keep asking yourself how people like Sarah Palin, how she didn't win her defamation lawsuit, how the judge kicked it out, because that algorithm not only picks juries, it picks judges too. So any outcome they want, it picks the judge and the jury, and it picks the executioner. So there will never be justice in America again. Never. So Mayorkas is funneling information and telling the government who to shut down. At the same time, they're arresting protesters. They're going with SWAT teams to ministers' houses and dragging them out in front of their wife and children for being at an abortion rally. Parents who go to school board meetings are now on terrorist watch lists. So everything that I've told you that has been happening to me for my whole life, because I told you I am the canary in the coal mine. Now it's happening mainstream every day in America. If you speak and you say something that you shouldn't, you say something you should say that the government doesn't approve of, they are coming for you. I can comment 1,000,000 times on Facebook, and you know how many people like even a thumbs up? I probably haven't gotten 10 thumbs up in 3 years. That's how bad the banning, the shadow banning, the controlling my account. Remember, Facebook said, oh, we did an experiment to see how people would, a social experiment to see how people would react when we shadow ban them, and we stopped letting the people's comments and their thumbs up or thumbs down affect their account. We just shut it off, and we stood back and watched how they responded to it. Well, when a person feels like they're all alone, what do they say? They say, I feel like I'm all alone. They were testing their censorship. And listen, let me go further. The social credit score going on in China was tested on me first, on targeted individuals. There are those, just like with the COVID, just like with the jabs, there are those, the government, that was one big test to see who was going to take it and who's going to be a problem. Well, guess what? I am going to be a problem. But see, they've got me neutered. They got me neutered. They know where. Listen, you could ask Mason. Every time we come off that mountain, the same exact plane is right there ahead of us. And as we come down the mountain, it goes from this side of the road to this side of the road. And then it goes straight towards my house. By the time we pull in the driveway, where's the plane at, Mason? Right above our house, every single time. And what's amazing about that plane is they shut off their corresponder that logs into FlightAware. It shuts it off so I can't track it when it follows us directly. They'll let me track it as it's going round and round, because the trolls in the audience will say, oh, they're just training them pilots on how to fly airplanes. You're getting ready to see the most rapid descent of any country in world history. You see, the Russians and the Chinese, prompted by the Heavenly Father himself, this is God's will to rock us. Through God's will, the Russians and Chinese have been playing the long game with us for 40 years. China is the #1 purchaser of land in America right now. Russia and China combined are the #1 mineral owners, mineral rights purchasers and owners in America today. If you remember the Bundys, that was about mineral rights. That was about getting what's underneath the soil from BLM. America is being sold off 1 penny at a time. Remember, Supreme Court ruled that the jab was unconstitutional to mandate, but guess what happened if you didn't take it? You were given your walking papers from the military. Now, you didn't get a dishonorable discharge. You just got a discharge. That's it. Nothing. You were told, see ya, bye. So what does that do? So that means our men and women that loved our country and were in the military for, I would say, the right reasons, besides just a college fund, are no longer there. We have the lowest enrollment in American history right now. Our military is completely collapsed. We have nothing left. All the trillions of dollars that Donald Trump put in the budget to send to our military, they've been siphoning it off, directing it to the Democrats' pockets, while at the same time having the lowest entrance rate of our military. All the long-timers have quit and retired because they're driving them out because of corrupt policies like proud to be tranny. They're running them out. At the same time, the federal government under Joe Biden is selling all of our strategic oil. All of it. All of it. So when the crap is fake, because right now there are diesel shortages all over the South. Right now. 500 million gallons of oil sold to China, our number one enemy in the world. So what happens when the strategic orders, because listen, remember, Joe Biden is no longer selling permits. They're not allowing any drilling whatsoever. So if there's no new oil coming in, and Joe Biden's selling all of our strategic reserves, what happens? That means there's no fuel to put in our jets that protect us, in our tanks that protect us, or in our troop carriers that can move our troops everywhere. None! That means all of our bases overseas are, guess what? Sitting ducks. They are literally selling us to the communist Chinese and to what? The Russians. To Vladimir Putin. Why do I say that? Well, it all comes back around to the Bible. The scripture says that the 2 million man army, China, the Bible also describes Russia's uniforms, blue and gold uniforms. It talks about the kings of the north. It talks about the dragon with 10 heads. You remember the 10-headed dragon? The dragon with 10 heads is the 10 heads of state, like North Korea, China, Yemen, Iran, Iraq. I told you so. It's over. And why are they bringing in all the illegals? Why is my neighborhood filled up with people that don't speak and can't speak and don't care to speak English? They're flooding and overwhelming all of our social systems while at the same time collapsing our food. They're buying up millions of acres of farmland, taking it away from farmers so there's no one to produce food. While at the same time, Bill Gates and his organizations are buying up land too. And what are they doing? They're not growing crops. They're getting ready to grow insects because you will eat bugs and you will be happy. Life as you know it in America is over. At God's behest. God's done. You don't murder 68 million of God's babies where they should be the safest in any place, the womb of a mother, and expect God to be happy. We are all going to die a miserable death. Now, you may think that I have slowed down my pursuit to escape here. I haven't. If I had the money to go right now, I'd be building my houseboat. I wouldn't doubt if they dropped something on us tomorrow. All it takes is an EMP, America shut. I mean, you could shut down Facebook for 24 hours and you'll see the ghettos come apart. But when people get hungry and they ain't got no power, you're going to see utter chaos and this place is going to rip itself to shreds. And guess what? Where are all my veteran buddies at? All take it from my cold dead hands. Well, yeah. They're going to. They're going to kill you in your yard and you're going to do nothing about it. You'll die and you'll die happy. Where you at? Foreign and domestic. You let this happen. See, the government turned her back on me long before I decided to turn my back on her. I still love this country. But this country was built to do exactly what it is, to be the greatest superpower and generate more wealth than ever and then hand it to the elites. Hear the playing? Saltaire Leasing. Get your houses in order. The Bible talks about bug out bags. It talks about leaving Babylon. If you have the ability to get out of America, you need to go. You need to go and go somewhere safe with your family, because life as you know it in this country is over. Don't pay attention to all the Republicans say, we're going to put somebody in jail. They're going to waste billions of dollars trying to prosecute Hunter Biden, and what's going to happen? Joe Biden's going to pardon him. Joe Biden's going to pardon himself, or what? They'll kill him off. Listen, there were reports 2 years ago that Joe Biden died at the Navy hospital, and this is an actor in his body, and I don't doubt that one bit. Everyone knows he's not running this country. They're getting orders straight from the Kremlin and straight from communist China, from President Xi Jinping. The life you know is over. America is collapsing as bad as this camper, and there's not a me that can fix it. If it were in my power, I would fix it, but no one's going to listen to a crazy hick from North Carolina that seems to be right almost every single time. God bless.